Sally has just arrived at her new home in California, which is a while away from her home state, Texas. The thought of having to start over and learning her new neighborhood has caused her to stress about everything. On top of all these emotions, her boyfriend Ian recently broke up with her. Wow, right? She now feels all alone, upset, and very overwhelmed. She finds herself angry at the world, but mostly at her parents, and lashes out. Sally also cries herself to sleep every night and doesn't come out of her room. Her health begins to decline as she barely gets any sleep, doesn't eat, cries a lot, and talks to no one. Sally realizes she needs to change to better her personal wellness. Sally decides to call a good friend from Texas and inform her of the situation. They both come up with various ways from the Help Guide article to deal with stress from the breakup. She has already completed one step in dealing with the stress by talking about her problems with someone. She now must focus on her future and move on. After reading KidsHealth, Sally reminds herself to eat healthy and get good sleep again. She decides to put herself out there by going to a meeting for new students. She made a new friend who introduced her to more people and has now begun going out and finding new hobbies. Sometimes things remind her of Ian and she cries, but it's okay, it's good to let it out. When this happens, she reaches out to her friends and talks about the situation. Sally always remembers to focus on herself and is now happy and confident in her new life in California.
Kim Tran is currently a Nova student and will transfer to GMU next semester. Her parents just supported the whole fees in her first 2 years at Nova. After that, her parents just help her to support living expenses. But they don't help her pay tuition fees, books, and parking fees. She's worried about not having enough money to pay for that school. She can't eat and often has nightmares. To fight that stress, she's begun to do some research. According to Kelci, Lynn, Lucier, the tips to reduce your financial stress in college is to look for a job on campus or near campus that offers a relaxed work environment. Secondly, make a budget to figure out how much you make monthly, how much you spend monthly, and prioritize your wants versus needs. It is very important to stick to your budget. Cut out costs wherever possible, like start renting school books instead of buying, or learning how to cook at home instead of eating at fast food restaurants. Lastly, make time to apply for scholarships and talk to the financial aid office. For the rest of the fees, she applied for a part-time job and takes classes in GMU on the weekends.
Jackie is very overwhelmed. She was asked to be her best friend's maid of honor and was told to be at her house by a certain time. Jackie has to help her best friend with her wedding dress, get herself ready, and catch the limo with the bride and all the other bridesmaids. Jackie is feeling very nervous and anxious for herself because she tends to run late on time, mostly on days like this one. If she did not make it on time, she wouldn't be able to assist her best friend with putting on her wedding gown on and experiencing such a beautiful memory with her. Not only that, but Jackie would miss her only ride to the church and would miss the wedding. At this point, Jackie was overthinking everything. To ease her thoughts, she went online the night before to see how she could organize her day. According to the mental health website, one of the best things to do when being stressed about time is to use a day planner or memory tools to write down every step you have to do and set a time for each task that has to be done for the day. In this case, Jackie will set a schedule starting at the time that she wakes up until she gets to the church. Jackie will have to pack her things the night before and will make a list of the most important things that she has to get done during the day. Being on time and managing her stress helped Jackie calm her mental health and put her at ease.
Rosa has an interview tomorrow for her dream job as a professional movie makeup artist. The night before, she feels confidence growing within her chest and pride warming up her heart. She does her usual nighttime routine, including a nice warm bath, her skincare ritual, and drinking a nice hot tea as she reads useful information in bed. The next morning, after a cup of iced coffee, makeup set, and portfolio in hand, she is ready to tackle her interview. She arrives early, and as she gets out of her car, she feels an intense weight hanging within her stomach and feels her heartbeat racing out of her chest. Rosa makes her way to the waiting room. As she sits, she feels her cheeks flush red and her body heat up with sweat. Thankfully, the night before, Rosa read an article from Drexel University that she can relax by listening to soothing music as she fills her mind with encouraging and positive thoughts. Once her assignment was built up, she was then called in for an interview. Not forgetting to breathe and laugh, she killed her first impression and confidently drove back home. Rosa understands that stress can change her presence of mind and can fill her mind with negative thoughts, which are not healthy actions for her body.
Has an upcoming final calculus and has a week to study for it. She has a great anxiety when it comes to taking an exam and preparing for it. To make matters worse, calculus is her worst subject. This increases her anxiety and stress as she already struggles to understand the subject itself. She tries to study that night but starts to overthink the possible outcome of her test. Will she even pass? Her mind taunts her with this question as her heart starts racing. She decides to stop studying as she is scared of her own anxiety. She then decides to binge watch a season of The Crown on Netflix. After procrastinating for a few days, Melissa decides to open up her math books again and study. This time, she ignores her worrying thoughts. Melissa calls her therapist and asks her what is the best way to deal with stress regarding tests. Her therapist informs her there are 7 simple steps to deal with test stress. The first rule is to breathe because it allows you to think rationally. The second is to sleep, eat, and exercise, as this allows for the body's best performance. The fourth step is to try not to study alone, but instead with a friend. The fifth is to take it slow during the panic. It is important to give the body what it needs, like hydrating and breathing. The sixth step is to have confidence in yourself. The last step is to talk to someone if you are having trouble with anxiety and stress. It is not shameful to look for help. Dealing with the stress and these tips can help Melissa's mental health and physical health. Being at peace can help Melissa to sleep better at night and will allow her blood to be at a healthy pressure.
Serena is 20 years old. Her weekly routine consists of going to school full-time during the weekdays, tutoring children on the weekends, and working full-time, mostly night shifts, as a waitress at a local restaurant owned by her close family friends. She also has a boyfriend as of 2 years. Her goal in life is to become a doctor and help others, and Serena recently applied for an internship. Her schedule is usually filled up and she rarely gets a day where she has time to herself. And when she is free, she uses that time to spend with her grandma who is sick. Just 2 weeks ago, unfortunately, her grandmother passed away, and a week ago, her boyfriend broke things off. 2 days ago, she was informed that she did not get the internship position that she wanted. Since then, Serena called out of work for being sick and has not shown up for any tutoring sessions. She now keeps herself locked in her room, orders takeout almost every night, has deleted all of her social media, and refuses to talk to anyone. In the middle of the night, her mother hears her sob. Her mother also notices that her grades are declining due to not attending classes. After a few days, Serena starts to realize her emotional behavior. She talks to her mom and tells her how she is emotionally overwhelmed. She starts to attend her classes again and is only going to work part-time. Serena also starts taking less tutoring sessions. She now has a day dedicated to herself and time throughout the week to take care of herself mentally and physically by exercising and journaling whenever she's feeling upset. She sees that it has helped her reduce stress, and whenever she's feeling emotional, she knows how to take care of it to help her mentally.